Hello, hello, hello. Back again with the poem, The Invitation, and the invitation to unpack some of these stanzas, some of these portions of it for deep understanding and truth of yourself. For you to really sit with ideas and concepts from a space of contemplation for deeper knowing of your own self. And as I was preparing to come on, guided to get it done early this morning before the energy of the day kind of sets in and animates whatever comes through, it felt like this morning it wanted to be right away in the morning. And just before this, I was sitting down and just kind of doing some things and was guided to go on social media. And I don't love social media, but at the same time, being in always in the online space and working with individuals ever since COVID and even before, in my jobs and even in my schooling in the early days of the internet. And my first career was actually to build the networks and the systems. And today it just fascinates me on how much the data streams play with human consciousness and how I've blended those two fascinations together. And even the seeds that planted that as I grew up in life. So kind of fun to look at. But the reason I share is because all of the, chaos that's happening in the world and across the US and across the state that I live in. And I find it so fascinating on this path of being initiated into a guide and a healer and a seer, and the Tibetan monks that are walking, even the significance of the lands that they've chosen to walk on. Quite amazing how prophecies and ideas and things that I've been shown in meditations are coming into form. And quite amazing how this life has showed up to even have me sharing in the ways that I am today. And I've spent a lot of time, many that even know me well don't even know the amount of time that I've spent in deep meditation and contemplation with the lands and feeling the energies of what's coming into reality, and knowing that this world was going to shift into a new earth, and the energies that we're going to take to come in, being an empath and being an intuitive and being whatever it is shaman, healer. There's so many threads of the undefinable that somehow I feel like have also importance to claim in this physical world. But my invitation to share and open people up to what they're truly feeling, I've been preaching it in so many spaces and trying to quietly plant seeds. And sometimes this red hair needs to get loud, and she will, for a cause. And as the grandmother that I am to children that we are leaving, constantly evolving humanity too. It's time to wake up. It's time for us to get back to the truth of the reality of humanity has evolved through, so many evolutions and eras and time frames. And at the same time, if you look at all of creation, we're just a blink of it. And even the ideas that we somehow play such a significant role in everything, and the reality that this planet and this creation is much more magnificent than us, and we can either align with it and get our shit together and get off our high horse of thinking we're the all-knowing. Yes, we've been the humanity that evolves to today, but we can also be our demise, and we are our demise every freaking day. We're our demise when we sit and have that inner war with ourselves over so many things. And at the same time, we choose to carry that baggage with us and project it and create separation instead of creating unity and oneness. And it really will take us stepping back, taking our own breath. Feel into your body. Your nervous system is triggered. You carry things in your body. Your hair, your everything responds to so much more than you know. And this isn't to scare you, but just to be in the space of knowing what you feel. Start with yourself. All you can control is yourself and what you do with it, and what you perceive of one another and what you project onto one another. And I'm sorry, but this poem brings up, the next stanza, it doesn't interest me what planets are squaring your moon. And yes, actually, to agree it does, because I am inviting people to call you back to the stars, call you back to roots of what has been an intelligence that has informed many cultures and our ways that we've forgotten. We live by the sun and the moon and the stars and the energies that animate. So it doesn't necessarily interest me what your birth chart is, because it animates who you are. I want to know if you've touched the center of your own sorrows. Do you really know what causes you that pain that you carry and you project? Because I want to know if you have been opened by life's betrayals. Has it opened you? Opened your heart to deeper love and compassion for one another, for yourself? Or have you become shriveled and closed from fear of further pain? And how much do we do that? When can we really allow ourselves to be vulnerable, to show up in the truth of whatever it is that we're sitting with, that we're struggling with, that's happening beyond the fake background of our Zoom calls? Let's get real, folks. Let's get real. What hides behind the walls of the four walls that we go home to? What's the unspeakable we won't want to speak? And why? There's so much happening underneath the surface, and I'm sorry, but I feel it deeply. And I want every person to give themselves grace, give themselves compassion, and give themselves love, because we've all experienced a lot of things that we have suppressed and we have repressed and we have not allowed to be seen. From the time we're children, where we're having a fit in the grocery store, and our mom says, "Stop it now, get yourself together," and we're embarrassed. I've been that mom. I've been that kid. It's undeniable. Like, when I go to the store now and parents doing that, I just look at them like, been there, and breathe with them. Like, and you know what? The kids calm down. They feel our energy. They want to be heard for something. And we've all been taught by that same story and evolve through humanity, through all of the distortions that have been put on everyone. We've all had to stand in that place where we've had to punish our children, where you don't know another way. I can sit with all of it. But I ask you, let's take more time with ourselves to heal, because there's so much going on. Let's use our resources, because there's so many things out there to help us. And our breath is so powerful. Taking the time, just allowing ourselves, just think about how much nice hug, like from someone who really feels safe, to let yourself just open. And when was the last time you experienced that? Have you ever? I hope you can. And I hope you hold yourself a little tighter, because we do always have ourselves. And as moms, and one thing we have never really been taught to do well, I mean, at least for me, is how to teach our children to self-soothe. I guess I did learn. I like to rock in my chair, and I find the way. I have found the ways. Are they acceptable? That's the challenge, right? Like, I was actually empowered as a child to rock and move the energy, move the information that I was processing in my head. And, I fidget in my chair now, and, maybe that's bugged people. Maybe they haven't understood, but it's what I needed to do to kind of process the information and exist in my reality. And that is, we're all on the spectrum of being human, and we've tried to fit ourselves in so many boxes and normalize what was right and what was wrong, what was good, what was bad. And we've never even allowed ourselves to just figure out who we really are. What are those gifts and talents we were born with? Most of the time, that those things that really were our gifts and talents, we've somehow condemned, or we've conditioned them out of us, and to fit in this world of so much potential. Honestly, can we harness it for good? I think we can. No matter who shows up in front of me and how they treat me and what they think of me, I'm going to continue holding hope for that we can. And that we can really set things aside and not come back with some higher form of power, control, manipulation, and agenda. What is it for? So much distortion, and it hurts every part of my body. No wonder the spaces and places I was so uncomfortable. And so taking the time to breathe in and out of your body and release the tension you carry. Find ways to express it with joy. Getting into singing and dancing, letting your heart express in ways that uplift instead of break down. I don't ask for myself, I ask for every human being. And can you not look around and see? So to all that's hearing this, and to all willing to listen, I thank you. I honor you. and from the inside out, walking this walk alongside you. Many blessings, and I thank you for doing the work of opening. May you sit with the words and feel into them for you and transmute that energy through self-compassion and self-love, self-honoring and grace. For when we make the unconscious conscious, we show up with a different vibration. And that matters more than anything you say or do. So breathe, relax, calm, feel, allow. Let's trust one another. Trust that the more we allow the space to show up for ourselves and for one another in integrity and truth, from that space we won't really see one another. And that is not weak. That is so freaking strong. And from that space we change. Thank you for listening, friends. Till next time. Many blessings. So much peace. From my heart to yours.